everybody, welcome to my channel. My name's Mel. Thank you so much for joining me today for my Becca's Bookoplathon TBR, as well as my other plans for the month of September. So in the month of September, there are two readathons that I'm going to be taking part in throughout the month. The first one is one that you are no doubt all very aware of, and that is Becca's Bookoplathon. I feel like this probably needs very little introduction, but for anyone that doesn't know, Becca's Bookoplathon is created and hosted by Becca from Becca and the Books. It is based on her TBR game, which in turn she created, basing it on Monopoly. So we have a Bookopoly board, which as you can see is very similar to a Monopoly board. Becca has created a bunch of different prompts that go with all the different spaces on the Monopoly board. You travel around like you would in Monopoly, and wherever you land, you have to do that prompt to choose yourself a book. I absolutely love this readathon. It's been going now for, I think this is going to be the third year, and I have been doing it for all 3 years. Like I said, I've really enjoyed the readathon. I enjoy being part of the community. I enjoy how much everyone just has a lot of fun with this readathon, and I'm really excited to be participating once again in Bookoplathon this year in September. The other readathon that I'm going to be going in is the Make Me Read readathon. This is a readathon that is created by my best bookish friend Ellie from Earl Grey Books, and hosted by herself, Paige from Pages with Paige, and Helen from Helen's Book Haven, all of whom are amazing friends of mine, and I'm super excited about this readathon and to take part in the readathon. It goes for the last 2 weeks of September, so potentially I'm hoping I'll be able to double up on some of the prompts that I get, or some of the books that I get for Becca's Bookoplathon, but this is essentially a kind of poll voting readathon. So what you need to do is you need to find a bunch of different books, and you need to create a poll on some form of social media. So you could do it in your YouTube community page, you could do it on Instagram, you could do it on Twitter, wherever it is that works for you, and you get people to choose the books that you're going to read throughout those 2 weeks. I have linked Becca's announcement video in the description below, as well as Ellie's announcement video in the description below. So if you'd like to participate in either of the readathons, you can go there to get all of the information that you will need and all of the resources that you will need. And obviously I highly recommend that you go and subscribe to both, or sorry, I should say all of these amazing people, because like I said, Ellie's readathon is hosted by herself, Paige, and Helen. I do have 2 books that I need to read in the month of September, as well as all the other books that come up on my TBR, so I'm really hoping that I manage to get those 2 books into Bookoplathon or Make Me Read. The first one of those is Fire by Kristen Cashaw. This is part of the Graceling read-along that I am hosting along with Bethany from Beautifully Bookish Bethany, and also Cara from Wild Book Garden. We started this month in August. We are reading Graceling. I have listed also my announcement video and Bethany and Cara's announcement videos, so if you want to join us, then you still have a little bit of time in August, because this is going up sort of halfway through August, so you'll definitely have time to read Graceling if you want to join us, and then also obviously Fire if you want to join us in September for that as well. So Fire needs to be on the TBR as well. And then the other book that I do have to get on the TBR somehow is Vespertine by Margaret Rogerson. This is the book that we are reading for the Last to Read book club. That is the book club that Ellie, myself, and Lana from Lauren Lullabies run, and the book that we're reading for September is Vespertine. So yeah, I need to get that on the TBR as well. Anyway, I think that's everything that I need to tell you before we go ahead and actually do the TBR. So let's jump in now and do the first roll. So I have this very pretty, can I get it to focus? This very pretty, 4-sided dice that is going to move around the board as our piece. And we have the 6-sided dice. So let's go. 11 places. Alright. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. And it is published set 1999 or before. So as you just saw, I landed on one of the pink squares, which was the prompt to read a book that was either published before or set before 1999. So I have chosen for this one Postmortem by Patricia Cornwell. This was published in 1990. It is a mystery thriller, and I assume that it will be a kind of contemporary to the 90s book, so contemporary for when it was written. But yeah, it was published in 1990, and that is obviously before 1999, so that fits for the prompt definitely. I bought this one secondhand, so I don't think it's the first one in the series. No, it's not. In fact, it's not even on the list of the books. But it is a Kay Scarpetta novel. But I think that this is kind of like case file of the week sort of book. So I'm not sure how much it will matter. I'm hoping not very much. I'm just going to read the blurb to you because I don't really know that much about it. A serial killer is on the loose in Richmond, Virginia. 3 women have died, brutalized and strangled in their own bedrooms. There is no pattern. The killer appears to strike at random, but always early on Saturday mornings. So when Dr. Kay Scarpetta, Chief Medical Officer, is awakened at 2:33 a.m., she knows the news is bad. There is a 4th victim, and she fears many others will follow unless she can dig up new forensic evidence to aid the police. But not everyone is pleased to see a woman in this powerful job. Someone may even want to ruin her career and reputation. So I think it sounds like it'll be quite interesting. I've never read any Patricia Cornwell before, but I have heard that she is a fantastic thriller mystery writer. Kat from Brews and Reviews commented on the video where I hauled this one, I think, and said that she really enjoys the Kay Scarpetta novels. So yeah, I'm hoping that I will as well. So that was the first roll for set before, or published before 1999. All right, let's go to roll number 2. Okay, roll number 2. 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Favorite genre. Awesome. All right, so as you just saw, for roll number 2, I got one of the brown property spaces, and for that one, the prompt is favorite genre. So actually, this could work for either of the 2 read-along / book club books that I need to read, because both of those are fantasy. So the first one of those is Fire by Kristen Cashore. This is the 2nd book in the Graceling series. As I just said, we are reading this as part of the read-along that I'm hosting along with Bethany from Beautifully Bookish Bethany and Cara from Wild Book Garden. So the first book, Graceling, is a book that is about a world where people are graced, which basically means they have one specific power that they can do, and it is about Katla. I can never remember how to say the person's name, but anyway, Katla or something along those lines. Yeah. Who is graced, and it's about her and her kind of figuring out what that means. This book, we then switch over to, it's in the same sort of universe, but it's actually in an alternate world. So we follow Fire, and this is a world where I think it's similar. So they're people who are graced, but they have, or animals as well are graced. With particular powers, or they're like exceptional for somehow. It's been a long time since I read this series, so I can't really remember. But anyway, this is the book that we're reading for the read along, so I could include this because it's a fantasy. Or I could say Vespertine by Margaret Rogerson, because this is a fantasy as well that I don't know a huge amount about. I have read the blurb, but I don't really remember what it said. So anyway, either way, I will obviously be reading both of these books throughout the month, so both of these books would work for this prompt. So yeah, I'm pretty happy with that. And on to roll number 3. And roll number 3 is a 10. Going quite high on these dice. 1, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, featuring a death. And as you just saw, for roll number 3, I landed on one of the yellow squares, and that is for the prompt where the book features a death. Having read the Patricia Cornwell blurb that I just was holding up before, obviously I could have included that one for this prompt, but I actually have decided to go with Whisper Man by Alex North. So this is another thriller mystery. Again, I'm going to read the blurb to you because, again, I don't really know a huge amount about this one. Still devastated after the loss of his wife, Tom Kennedy and his young son Jake moved to the sleepy village of Featherbank looking for a fresh start. But Featherbank has a dark past. 15 years ago, a twisted serial killer abducted and murdered 5 boys. Until he was finally caught, the killer was known as the Whisper Man. Of course, an old crime need not trouble Tom and Jake as they try to settle into their new home. Except that now another boy has gone missing, and then Jake begins to act strangely. He says he hears a whispering at his window. So yeah, I think this sounds really, really interesting, and I've heard good things about it. I have had it on my TBR for quite a while, and I just keep not reaching it. So this is actually on reaching for it, I should say. So this is actually on my self-destruct list for this year, and obviously I haven't got to it yet, but I do really, really want to give it a try because I have heard good things about it, and also the cover is gorgeous. But yeah, it sounds like it'll be really interesting, and I'm looking forward to giving it a shot. Okay, and now it's time for roll number 4. What are we up to? Roll number 4? Yes, roll number 4. And that's a 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 multi-perspectives. And for roll number 4, I landed on one of the green property squares, and this has the prompt featuring multiple perspectives, so meaning that the book is written rather than following one perspective, we are following multiple different perspectives. I have decided to go with Before the Devil Breaks You by Libra Bray. This is the 3rd book in the Diviners series, and I have been reading that series throughout the last few months. So I read the first one in June, I'm reading the second one currently, and now I'll be reading the 3rd one in September. I am enjoying the series, so I'm really looking forward to continuing with the series. I'm borrowing them off my parents, so I can't show you physically, but obviously it's here on the screen. It is the 3rd book in the series. I actually don't know a huge amount about what direction it's going to go in, so I can't really tell you because I don't really know, but also it's a 3rd book in the series. But I will just say that the first book, The Diviners, follows mostly Evie, but also a bunch of different characters. Evie is a diviner, so she has sort of a supernatural power, and some of the other characters do as well. And we follow those characters, and there is also a serial killer murder mystery involved. So I'm actually reading quite a bit of death this month, as it happens anyway. But anyway, yeah, so the first book and the second book follow multiple different perspectives, so I have no doubt that the 3rd one will do the same. So it definitely fits for the prompt, and like I said, I am looking forward to continuing with it as well. Alright, and hopefully our last prompt, you will have noticed I didn't get any doubles as of yet. It does follow Monopoly rules, so if you get doubles then you have to add another roll, but hopefully my last roll I will not get doubles. So let's just see how we go. Alright, and roll number 5 is a what double, so it's not a last roll. That's okay. 1, 2, we've got a chance. Alright, and chance is these ones here, and it is that focus. I don't think it's going to focus. It is In Times of Fading Light. So that was one of the books I didn't particularly want to read. Alright, well that's how chance works. So yeah, I spoke too soon and I got double one. Snake eyes. So we are adding another roll, so that's 6 books. That's okay, 6 books is fairly doable, but what can you do? Hopefully roll number 6 won't give us a double as well. Anyway, for roll number 6, as you just saw, I got chance, which means I have to pick up one of the chance cards. So the way this works is that the chance cards are, you basically halve the cards. Half the cards are books that you're really excited to read and you really, really want to pick up, and half the cards are books that you don't particularly want to read at the moment. So that is what I did, and as you just saw, I got In Times of Fading Light. However, I was a bit cheeky and printed all these things out at work yesterday, and around recess time, just before the next class came to art, I wrote out all of the books and all of the prompts for the community chest, and I'd forgotten that I'd actually already unhauled this one. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to pick up the next book on the pile of chance cards. So like I said before, half of these are books I'm super excited to read and half of these books that I'm not necessarily particularly wanting to read at the moment at least. So let's see how we go. Cytonic. I don't know how well you can see it. It hasn't been focusing very well on these small cards, but I promise it says Cytonic, which I will insert just here, is the third book in the, I don't know what the series is called, but the first one is Skyward by Brandon Sanderson. As it is, again, the third book in a series, I'm not going to tell you that much about this book in particular, but it is a young adult science fiction. We follow Spencer, and Spencer's father was a fighter pilot in this army, or air force I should say, on this planet where humans lived, and they are surrounded by aliens that they call Krell, and the aliens are trying to keep them on this planet, and they don't know why, they don't understand why they're always attacking them or what's going on, but they know that their whole entire purpose of their army and their navy, well not navy, their air force and everything, or space force, is to fight the Krell. And something happened in a battle and Spencer's father did something not great and he was labelled as a coward, which has followed Spencer throughout her life, and she would really like to be a pilot, but she's the daughter of a coward, so nobody wants her to be a pilot, but for various different reasons she manages to get into training to be a pilot, and the story goes from there. I really enjoyed the first two books, so I'm really looking forward to continuing. I think Cytonic is the last book in the series. I'm not sure about that, but I'm looking forward to continuing with the series. Anyway, alright, hopefully my last roll number 6. Let's go and see what happens. Alright, and then hopefully our final roll is a 4. And here's our final roll. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Randomize your TBR. Alright, awesome. And it is the last roll. I didn't get another double, so that is fantastic news. And as you just saw, I landed on Go, which is also a corner piece, and on that one was the prompt to randomize your TBR. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring up my own TBR on Goodreads. That's my own TBR shelf on Goodreads, and then I'm going to use a random number generator to generate a number, and the number that corresponds to the book that is at that number will be the book that I will read as well. So I'm going to screen record and pop it up on the screen somewhere so that you can see how I do that. But yeah, let's go ahead and do that. I'm just going to grab my computer. Alright, so random number generator first. There are 92 books on my own TBR, so 27. Okay, so 27. So there are 6 in each row, so 6, 12, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27. Why I'm no longer talking to white people about race. All right. So that is a non-fiction book. I'm actually just going to read what Goodreads has to say about it. It is on my e-reader, so I will definitely put an image of it up here, but let's read it. In 2014, award-winning journalist Renée Edo-Lodge wrote about her frustration with the way that discussions of race and racism in Britain were being led by those who weren't affected by it. She posted a piece on her blog entitled "Why I'm No Longer Talking to White People About Race" that led to this book. Exploring issues from eradicated black history to the political purpose of white dominance, whitewashed feminism to the inextricable link between class and race, Renée Edo-Lodge offers a timely and essential new framework for how to see, acknowledge and counter racism. It is a searing, illuminating, absolutely necessary exploration of what it is to be a person of colour in Britain today. So I have heard this is absolutely amazing. I've had it on my TBR for a couple of years and just haven't got to it. So it is about time that I read it. I don't know whether I can say that I'm looking forward to it because I think it's going to be very hard to read, but I think it'll be important to read and I'm glad that I'm going to be finally reading it. So that is Becca's Bookopoly. Moving into Make Me Read, the readathon hosted by Ellie, Paige and Helen in the second 2 weeks of September. As I said before, the idea behind this is that you create polls with a bunch of different books and then you read the winners of each of the polls throughout the 2 weeks. So what I'm actually going to do is do another video closer to the time and talk you through all the books that I have chosen and talk you through the polls and who won and all of that sort of stuff. So that is going to be coming up on my channel probably in the first week of September. So keep an eye out on my channel for that. And like I said, go and get involved, check out Ellie's announcement video and get all the information that you need there. Also, like I said as well, Becca's announcement video is in the description below. So if you want to get involved in Becca's Bookoplathon, then you can go and do that as well. But yes, that is my Bookoplothon TBR for the month of September. I am very, very excited to be taking part. Like I said, always really enjoy this one, so I'm excited to be reading some books and enjoying some readathons. This is the physical TBR plus Cytonic, which I do have physically but I haven't grabbed. And then Before the Devil Breaks You, which I'm borrowing off my parents so I don't have physically yet. That is a physical book, and then the ebook Why I'm No Longer Talking to White People Rat Race. So I think that's going to be a definitely doable for the month TBR, but whether or not it works with Make Me Read, I'll just have to see, I guess. But yeah, that's my TBR for the month of September. And that is the end of this video. So let me know in the comments below if you are taking part in Bookoplothon or Make Me Read. How were the roles for you? Did they treat you well? Are you excited about your TBR? Have you read any of the books that I have put on my TBR? Let me know that as well. If you would like to leave me a comment but you don't know what, then leave me a little dice emoji because obviously we were playing using the dice. So yeah, leave me a little dice emoji. All of my social media details are listed in the description below, so if you'd like to go and follow me on any of those other platforms, please feel free to do so. Thank you so much for watching. I really hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, I would absolutely love it if you would subscribe to my channel and give this video a thumbs up. And yeah, like I said, thank you so much for watching. I really hope you enjoyed this video, and I will see you next time.